Now, there's so many questions surrounding the NFC West for the 2025 season, and quite frankly, the future. We just saw Deebo Samuel get traded over to the Washington Commanders. We're hearing that Brock Purdy is on pace for a massive contract extension. Mike McDonald and the Seattle Seahawks are entering year 2 of the regime. We have the Arizona Cardinals with a third-year head coach, and the LA Rams still have a lot of question marks as well. So honestly, this entire division is completely unpredictable. So what we did today was that we asked artificial intelligence to predict what the division will look like for the next 5 years. Super excited to unpack this, guys. Welcome to the NFC West Roundtable. Without further ado, let's just dive in. But first, we have to go on ahead and give a giant shout out to today's sponsor, and that just so happens to be BetUS, folks. BetUS is hands down the #1 sports book on the face of the planet when it comes into everything and anything sports betting. And look at this. It has all of the other predictions surrounding free agency, which begins in a little over a week. For example, where is Cooper Kupp going to land? Aaron Rodgers, if his old ass can still muster up some courage to show his face in the season again. Harold Landry III. So many different lines that you can bet on over on the BetUS Sportsbook, even during the NFL offseason. Now, the best thing about this is that they are matching 150% of your first deposit all the way up to $2,000 and 125% of your second and your third, as long as you use code YouTube150. Giant shout out to BetUS for sponsoring this channel, and let's dive right in. I'll tell you what, folks, I did ask artificial intelligence, and I didn't do ChatGPT because Elon Musk and Grok has been taking over the interwebs. So I had to go on ahead and ask what exactly they thought of our favorite division over here, the NFC West. And in 2025, let's see what they ultimately had to say. Looks like the LA Rams end up winning the division. All right. And what they say is the Rams won the NFC West in 2024, 10-7. Matthew Stafford is still performing at a high level, and we saw that he ultimately ended up getting a restructured deal to where he was happy financially. It sounded like Puka Nacua was very happy of his return. Sean McVay, coaching prowess, and the remain strong contender, a young talent like Puka Nacua and a solid draft could help them atop of the division. So first place, 11-6. And then it goes into this San Francisco 49ers, right? And obviously, they're already having a lot of changes so far this offseason, losing out on Deebo Samuel. And then also, now there's even rumors that some teams have been calling on Brandon Ayuk. He honestly didn't finish the season in 2024 due to an injury. I'm not entirely convinced that they will move on from him, but they have to figure some things out, especially if they want to retain Brock Purdy for the future. But AI said the 49ers have a talented roster led by Brock Purdy, but injuries and salary cap constraints might hinder them slightly in 2025. They've been consistent contenders, so a strong season is likely, though they narrowly miss the division title. Look, with Brock Purdy being on a rookie contract for the past couple of years, and granted a 7th-round rookie contract, there's obviously going to be some growing pains. The Niners are not going to be able to surround him with star-studded talent much longer. They're going to have to start to make some difficult decisions as far as cap, as far as player personnel. Let's just hope that Brock Purdy can really carry a roster that is not surrounded with as much talent. Seahawks go 8-9, which is interesting. We're hearing that they're interested in extending Geno Smith. I'm not so sure on that. And the Arizona Cardinals will go 7-10. Gannon has the Cardinals trending in the upward trajectory with Kyler Murray, but they still have a whole lot of young talent. So far, this is artificial intelligence. Anything can happen. Injuries obviously could derail any of these teams, but I think this is actually pretty realistic. Moving on, 2026, man. We have the San Francisco 49ers back on top with a 12-5 record, and they're assuming that Brock Purdy continues to grow. They address the roster depth in the offseason. Maybe they're in a better situation from a cap perspective, and Kyle Shanahan's system thrives with consistency back on top of the NFC West. The LA Rams take a slight downward trajectory. Have Stafford, his potential retirement looms large. Like we said, he just ended up getting a restructured deal, has some money, but who knows how much longer he will be playing. I would assume 2026 would be his final year, but that's just me assuming. If he's gone, a new quarterback, perhaps a draft pick, might I say Arch Manning, might take time to adjust, dropping them to second, and McVay's adaptability keeps them competitive. Have the Arizona Cardinals with a winning record. All right, so shout out Cardinals fans. Your time has finally come. Prime and stronger supporting cast pushes the Cardinals into wild card contention. Again, they are on the upward trajectory. And the Seattle Seahawks, man, not looking good for Mike Macdonald. His damn third year, 6-11. Smith departs or declines. And without a clear quarterback successor, Seattle might struggle. A rebuild could be in play. Not looking too good for the boys over in Seattle. 2027, damn. Cardinals fans, rejoice because you have just won the division. 11-6, the long-awaited football team you have been waiting for. Here we are. By 2027, the Cardinals could hit their stride with Murray leading a matured roster. Gannon's defensive improvements might make them the division's new power. The Niners ultimately end up going 10-7. The 49ers remain strong, but might face challenges if Purdy's contract demands strain the cap, forcing tough roster decisions. It's only a matter of time. And the LA Rams are 8-9. All right. Stafford is retired by 2027, which I do not think is completely out of the realm of possibility. Looking for a new quarterback. Maybe they addressed it in the previous draft and he's in year 2. But McVay's genius keeps them afloat, but they are not dominant. And the Seattle Seahawks, man, still rebuilding. I would be surprised if Macdonald is still the head coach based off of their past couple of years of production. But Seattle might improve slightly with a new quarterback or offensive line upgrades, but they are not yet contenders. Damn. Moving on. We have the 2028 season. It is the Arizona Cardinals damn division, folks. 12-5. Peak Cardinals is what artificial intelligence is throwing out there. Murray in his prime, a top offense, a stout defense could make them NFC West best team. Look at that, folks. Maybe even NFC contenders, maybe even a first or second seed in the NFC playoffs. Dare I say Super Bowl contenders. The Niners go 9-8. Aging stars and potential coaching fatigue if Shanahan decides to leave or if they boot him out might drop them to a wild card hopeful. The LA Rams are still waiting for their new QB to step up, but they're still finding their footing post-dynasty. And the Seattle Seahawks, again, holy shit, 7-10. All right, sad football times over in Seattle. Let's see what it looks like in 2029, our final projection. We have the LA Rams on top. So whether or not it's Arch Manning, whether or not that it is a younger quarterback, they go 11-6 and win the division. A revitalized Rams squad with a young quarterback hitting their stride under McVay could reclaim the division. The front office's knack for finding talent absolutely shines. Have the Cardinals with a slight decline, but hey, you know what? It's 10-7. It's a winning record. It was a retooling sort of situation, but Murray's still effective, but slight regression or roster turnover might cost them a top spot. The Seahawks, all right, are back in the above 500 club. A rebuilt offense, defense can finally pay off, putting Seattle back in the wild card mix. And the San Francisco 49ers, some dark times over there. A potential down year as they reset with a new quarterback or coaching staff after years of contention. Now, folks, I do want to say this is artificial intelligence. We just did this episode for fun. However, I do think that the future of this division is certainly very intriguing. I think that there are a lot of changes for a lot of the rosters. For the Rams' point of view, yes, they were able to bring back Matthew Stafford on a deal that made him happy. But how much longer does he really have at playing at a high level in this league? I feel like people heard the Tom Brady story and everyone assumes that every quarterback can play until they're 43, 44 years old. But I don't really see that happening. So we could potentially see a decline here within the next couple of years. The San Francisco 49ers, right? Like we are seeing what can happen when you have to pay a quarterback. Brock Purdy was playing on a 7th-round contract, very cheap, and you were able to surround him with some of the league's best talent. What's that going to look like in the future? Is Brock Purdy a quarterback that can truly elevate a roster and not vice versa? Same thing with the Seattle Seahawks. Like we're hearing news that several teams have been interested in DK Metcalf. We heard the Green Bay Packers are intrigued of sending over a 1st-round pick for him. What's that roster turnover going to look like? And the Arizona Cardinals, can Gannon finally get this team in the right trajectory? They've been drafting pretty well, but who knows? Folks, sound off in the comments. Let me know your thoughts on this. Was this realistic at all? Because we're always curious to hear that over at Roundtable Sports. Thank you so much for tuning in to another edition of the NFC West Roundtable. And until next time, thank you so much.